This is GARIS, Masculist MGTOW flyers, that is 2 3-page essays on the themes of masculism and MGTOW, written by and read aloud by Prof. Dr. Hugo de GARIS. This is flyer number 369, entitled The 3-4 Relation. The 3-4 relationship, a variant of the Twaytwef, that's 2A2F relationship. Description. This flyer describes a variant of the Twaytwef relationship that I am currently having with my new girlfriend. It's designed from the masculinist perspective to give a man the benefits of women's positive qualities, for example, women's nurturing, women's sexuality, etc., as well as protecting a man from the negative qualities of women, for example, their nagging, controlling, etc., as well as benefiting from the usual features of twaytweffing, discussed in several other flyers, for example, 5, 31, 189, 240, 341. Now the flyer itself. The 3-4 relationship, a variant of the Twaytwef, that's 2A2F relationship, by Prof. Dr. Hugo de GARIS. Email profhugodegaris@yahoo.com. Website profhugodegaris.wordpress.com. This flyer introduces a variant of the Twaytwef, that's 2A2F relationship, that I now have with my new girlfriend, so I can speak with some personal experience of it rather than it being merely a bit of theoretical suggestion. I begin with definitions. A Twaytwef, that's 2A2F relationship, is one in which both the man and the woman have their own apartment, that is 2A equals 2 apartments, houses, dwellings, and both are FIPs, financially independent persons, that is 2F equals 2 FIPs. I have written several flyers already on the concept of the Twaytwef relationship, e.g. flyers 5, 31, 189, 240, 341. The main idea behind the Twaytwef relationship is that it allows the man to get the regular sex that he needs without paying the heavy traditional price of being a manslave to a fluffy parasite woman. Since his female partner is a FIP, as is he, if the relationship goes sour, he merely walks away to his own apartment, cost-free to him, since there is no alimony, since there is no divorce, and since the woman is a FIP, no child payments, since no kids, no loss of his house, since she has her own apartment. The only thing holding the relationship together is the quality of the relationship. If the woman starts nagging, withholding sex, tries to mold or control him, then he simply walks away. And she knows this, so she's motivated to be nice to him, and vice versa. Hence Twaytwef, that's 2A2F, said quickly, relationships are more civil, more cordial, more polite. Masculists strongly recommend to men that they have Twaytwef relationships with women if they choose not to be MGTOW monks, that is MGTOWs, in brackets, who reject marriage and paternity, who reject having sexual relationships with women. The above reasons in favour of Twaytwef relationships are compelling, and now in many countries 2/3 of young men under 35 refuse to marry and have kids, many of whom have chosen to live the Twaytwef lifestyle. For the past 2 months, I've had a new girlfriend whom I met on an e-dating site. For the first 3 weeks we were in, as she calls it, pen pal mode. Those 3 weeks were very important for me and for the relationship that followed it, because it allowed the two of us to judge each other. Both of us stated to each other when we met face to face for the first time that intelligence was our top criterion. This is not surprising, since research shows that if the IQ gap between the man and the woman in a couple is greater than 5 IQ points, then the relationship usually fails. One partner then feels that the other partner is too dumb and is not worthy of the smarter partner. So my new girlfriend and I were testing each other via emails until she felt the time was ripe for a face-to-face. By that stage, we already had a pretty good idea after daily emails of each other's intelligence and personality. On paper, she sounded highly compatible, to the point that I felt that I'd been rather lucky to have found someone who matched nearly all of my main criteria, that is, to be NFS, that is, nurturative, FIP, and sage, which is my word for an intellectual, someone who loves books, ideas, etc. She was all of those things, and she felt the same about me, so then things then progressed rather rapidly from there. As a masculist, and as someone who has spent the previous year living the MGTOW monk lifestyle, having abandoned e-dating that I took up 2 years ago, I had become motivated to live the Twaytwef lifestyle with a potential girlfriend for the reasons given above. But there's another more pragmatic reason for twaytweffing in our relationship, and that is my girlfriend is very much a FIP who has her own house with a large and beautiful garden that she attends with reverence, so that I far prefer to spend long weekends, that is 3 days, 3 nights, at her house rather than in my bachelor apartment of 5 rooms with no garden and much less space. She has her own life, her own friends, has lived in her own house, fully paid off. So, since she is of similar age to me, in her 70s, there is no way she would want to come regularly to my apartment, except for practical reasons. For example, since I live closer to the CBD, that's the Central Business District, that is downtown, if we attend some event in the CBD, for example a concert, movie, play, etc., then she can sleep over at my apartment rather than drive back to her house, which is further out in the suburbs, at night, which she prefers not to do. So you may ask, why 3 days and nights per week rather than say 2 or 4 or 5? Our choice of 3 days together and 4 days apart was a mutual decision that satisfied us both. At first we tried 2 days a week, with me turning up at her doorstep at about noon on Saturdays and leaving Mondays about noon. We felt that this was too short, so agreed on 3 days a week. After the first weekend together, we did not email each other during the following 5 days, but felt that that was too severe, so agreed to email each other daily, and so grew the so-called 3-4 relationship lifestyle. We have now pretty much settled into this pattern, which seems to work quite well. It's obviously a Twaytwef relationship, but of a particular kind amongst several possible variants. We chose the 3-4 kind, and to email each other daily with news and views. This form of twaytweffing has 2 major advantages from my masculist perspective. The first, that it has a certain practical necessity about it. My girlfriend has her own life, her own friends, and particularly her own house. She's not interested in a major uprooting or major change in life in geographical terms. It suits her greatly to simply stay where she is, particularly with her beloved garden that she has put woman years of effort and devotion into, so does not want to give all that up. Also, it's very convenient for her to have me just turn up at her doorstep and ring the front door bell. Very convenient. I don't mind the travel because I can work reading, studying math texts just as easily in a park as in a tram or train. It takes me 2 hours to reach her by walking, tram, train, walking. So I get my daily quota of health walk by travelling to her house, thus killing 2 birds with 1 stone. This is the end of part 1.